What is good, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome to a brand new video, guys. Today we're going to be covering actually two different rumors in this video. So if you guys do enjoy, drop a like down below. And either way, we're going to go through first both rumors. We're going to read through them, and then we're going to do an in-depth analysis. So let's get started straight away. So the first rumor here is called Diamond and Pearl Remake DLC, posted yesterday by an anonymous person on 4chan. So first things first, he's suggesting here that we're going to get DLC for the remakes, which then would suggest that he's trying to say that next year, which is 2021, right, is when we're gonna get the remakes, which would be cool and hopefully is the fact. Either way, so DLC 1, June 2022, Giratina, Distortion World, Cyrus Retrieval Subquest. Alright, already seeing a problem here, which I'm gonna discuss a bit further later, but I don't want to see the Distortion World in a DLC. I want it to be in the base game, which it should be. Either way, Origin Giratina raid alongside Cyrus, Cynthia, and Saturn. Cresselia and Darkrai event on Full Moon and New Moon Island. Actually covered New Moon Island the other day in one of my videos, and if you don't know, it's the basically places or the event islands where you had to get yourself Cresselia or Darkrai. Not really a feasible thing to do anymore, but either way, let's continue. So next up, Manaphy Egg Retrieval Subquest on Route 220. Again, I'm not sure what he's trying to say with this whole, like, he keeps using the word retrieval, like, it just sounds weird. But yeah, that's one of the things. The next up, Regigigas event in Snowpoint, which that would actually be pretty cool and pretty awesome. Next, Shaman event with Oak's Letter. Okay, fair enough. Once you collect all 499 in the Dex, which up against the Pokemon Dex, plus all unknown forms, you retrieve a Zurflute in Celestic Ruins. Then he says you can go and challenge Arceus in the Origin Hall, but you can't catch it. Fair enough then. Okay, once you defeat it, you can travel through the rocky gates in Amity Square to the Sinjo Ruins. The Sinjo Ruins are mainly in the Heart Gold Soul Silver remakes, so I'm really wondering how this would work, the way he's saying it here. But hey, it is what it is, so let's continue. Next he says, there on Mystery Stage, you can fight the inevitable Super / Giga / Ultra form of Arceus and catch it. It's like a raid battle, but you're all alone, more difficult than Ultra Necrozma. That would be cool, but it does sound a little bit unlikely and just kind of made up in my mind. Like, usually these tend to have a little bit more extra to them, but here it just doesn't sound realistic. Either way, he then says DLC 2, November 2022. Then he says DLC 2, Battleground opens up in Battle Zone, which not sure what that means. After rematching every gym leader in the Battleground at least once, the Battle Frontier replace Battle Tower area in Battle Zone. It's a mix between Hoenn and Sinnoh Battle Frontier with 10 different facilities. Yeah, this is where I just know this ain't gonna happen. We know they're not gonna do another. Like, even when it's in the games they're remaking, they're not doing it. They didn't do it in Nora, so I don't see them doing it even for, like, Diamond and Pearl, you know, Platinum rather. Either way, so it's a mix between Hoenn and Annabelle would be the tower leader for single battles, Palmer for the doubles, and same for Nolan and Thornton in Battle Factory. There is also a little possessed house in the BF area where you can battle for BP with inverse battle rules, which does sound pretty cool actually. So that is the first rumor, everybody. So let's jump over to the next rumor right now. So next we have some strange stuff here from this rumor. It's called Diamond and Pearl Remake Leak Dev Footage. And then he says here, Diamond and Pearl remakes are already in the making. And he includes this image, which I'll have on the screen. So this image shows some sort of house from Pokemon. Now, it looks like essentially, I guess, the lab. And if you know what I'm talking about, like the lab, the professor's lab from Diamond and Pearl and Platinum, I guess. It's trying to, like, you know, it looks like a 3D, like, enlarged version, kind of like more akin to how things look like in Sword and Shield. And if you do a comparison between this house and a Sword and Shield house, it does have kind of a similarity to it. But apparently this is the first actual thingy from the Diamond and Pearl remakes. Now again, could be fake, let's be honest, but let's continue. So, Diamond and Pearl remakes are already in the making. This is a screenshot from the professor's lab in a texturing tool. Fair enough. It's already in advanced development. It'll be announced early next year. Fair enough. Engine is the same as Sword and Shield, which, yeah, of course it will be. That is kind of expected, or it's 100% expected, because they don't tend to make a brand new engine or go with a brand new engine whenever they do remakes in the same kind of generational sphere. So yeah, it doesn't make any sense for them to do a new engine. Of course it's going to be in this one. Either way, They continue saying, no national dex, but more Pokemon will be featured than the original games. Many Pokemon that were not in Sword and Shield are coming back. Then he says, Mount Coronet and surroundings become the wild area in these games, similar to ORAS. There are no new features or big graphical improvements compared to Sword and Shield, which, yeah, that's kind of what I'm expecting them to do. This could still change depending on the reception of Sword and Shield, but don't expect anything big. And then he says, content cut. Undergrounds and many of the post-game content apparently has been cut. So, you know what's kind of interesting about this though? This was not posted like this year even. This was posted last year in October. This was posted a really long time ago. And it's kind of funny because this was before we had all the stuff we have now. And the thingy here on the screen, like the actual like thingy, you know, I guess the textured, you know, lab, so to say, it actually does look a lot like the stuff we have in Sword and Shield. So yeah, I don't know, it's interesting to say the least, but that is basically the rumors, guys. We've gone through both the rumors now, so let's discuss them a little bit more in depth. So starting with the first rumor with the DLC, one of the things I dislike with this is the idea of like giving us Giratina, Distortion World, Cyrus stuff, etc. All this like, you know, stuff that's mentioned here, for example, Origin, Giratina raid alongside Cyrus, Cynthia, and Saturn. Why are these things a DLC? Like, why is this not in, why wouldn't this be in the base game? Like, why does this need to be a DLC? Like, why do we need the DLC for a remake? Like, there's no, like, let's be honest, okay? Like, think about this for a moment. Why would you need DLC for a remake? You shouldn't need it. It shouldn't be a thing. Like, it actually should not be a thing at all. And that's just what I think. Like, again, you could think differently. You could be on a totally different side of this, like, discussion. But I just think that there's no reason for a essentially remake of a previous game to segment off content when the original game didn't do that. Is Sword and Shield somewhat more acceptable because it's the first time they're doing it and it's different in a sense, but this doesn't make any sense though. Why would you do DLC for a remake, which when the original game came out was a full package and didn't have like any sort of split stuff between it? Sure, you could argue like, you know, the Platinum stuff, right? But then remake Platinum instead of Diamond and Pearl, and include that stuff in the game, the same way you did in ORAS, where you had the Delta episode, right? Look at it the same way as that. And yeah, that's just the way they should do it. They shouldn't have to, like, you know, intentionally just force in DLC as a way to kind of segment off content to make us pay more. I don't like the idea of that. As for the other stuff though, like as for what's in the DLC, it does sound pretty interesting. You mentioned here, once you collect all 499 in the decks plus all unknown forms, you get the Azure Flute. Now, I would love if there was stuff like that, where if you complete certain tasks, that you actually get access to, I don't know, like most, like just interesting little side quests and that sort of stuff. That actually would be pretty fun. I would not mind that. But where the whole like credibility of this rumor really fails is when they talk about like the battleground to open up in the battle zone and like this whole like Battle Frontier thing. Like it just does, it sounds too far-fetched and too unlikely to be something that Game Freak would ever do. It just doesn't sound like what they normally would do. It doesn't sound like what they want to do. It doesn't sound like them whatsoever, which is why I just don't trust this rumors whatsoever. Like, it just doesn't seem realistic to me. But hey, that's that one. So what's the next one? Well, the next rumor is the other one we talked about, which is the one about the leaked dev footage or whatever. And this one, of course, is a little bit different. This one's old, by the way. This was posted last year. It was posted on the 10th of October 2019. It's an old rumor, and also shout out to my boy Memo for sharing this with me. But it's an old rumor, which is interesting to me because like we were talking about Diamond Pearl remakes last year as well, right before like Sword and Shield even came out. We were talking about it, but I never really saw like any crazy rumors for it, and this is actually a pretty cool rumor, to be honest. Like having an actual like, you know, 3D model or so to say, it's kind of interesting. But then again, it's not really that hard for somebody who is skilled in whether it be Photoshop or you know, any other sort of like 3D tools. Like it can easily be made, right? You can easily take somebody who knows what they're doing and they can put together something like this very quickly. It isn't that difficult for them if they know what they're doing. So that's where I kind of lose a little bit of that faith in this being actually realistic or real or whatever you want to call it. It becomes really hard to believe it when you think about the fact that people can fake this stuff, and they faked stuff crazier stuff before. So that's just what I feel. But as for like the other stuff it mentions, the same engine as Sword and Shield, yeah, that's obvious. Of course they're gonna do that. They wouldn't make a new engine for a remake. They never do. It's always like that with remakes. They're made in the same engine right after a new generation. So, next thing, no national decks, but more Pokemon, etc. Fair enough. Mount Cornet's surroundings become the wild area in these games. I've heard like several rumors before say that, so who knows. But yeah, other than that, guys, that's pretty much it for this rumor. Hope you guys did enjoy it. If you did, drop a like down below. Thank you so much for watching. My name, of course, has been Ruffle Rowlet. I'll see you next time. Bye-bye, ladies and gentlemen.